Hi guys, welcome to my channel Vahan Insights. Today basically I'm going to do a review of a new Celerio, which is 2022 model. You would have seen the previous one, which is 2016 model of my own car. So today I'll do the review of 22 model, which is a new Celerio. So I'll go and meet the owner and then see what is his experience in terms of the car ownership, as well as see what the difference are between the old and the new Celerio. Okay, come over. Yes, Mr. Elango.
Hi.
Hi. So you've been having this car for how long now?
More than a year.
Than a year.
Around 1 year, 4 months.
So when did you purchase this one?
I purchased around June 22.
22, okay. So how many kilometers is done right now?
Around 5,500 and odd.
5,500 kilometers is done, okay. So you're happy with this car?
Yes, definitely.
Okay, so it's been very convenient
Very
for
convenient,
you?
very comfortable.
From the dealership or from service point of view, you're happy?
Yes, 100% happy.
Okay.
And even the dealership, they guided me very well.
So this is the experience of many Maruti owners typically, and that's one of the reasons why Maruti is actually very, very popular in India, both in sales and service, because ownership experience of Maruti has been pretty good. Then of course now we have a lot more companies, but then if you look at typical Maruti owner is always happy because car gives you more mileage. It's functional, it's parts are available always, and even if the vehicles don't get discontinued, it's there for a long time as well. Some people,
Yes.
People, even Wagoner for example, for last 15-20 years people are having it. Swift for example, it launched in 2005 and still going strong. People don't have problem with in terms of services as such, right?
Exactly.
Unlike other manufacturers where after 5-6 years, 10 years, suddenly they disappear from the country. Then the owners are left high and dry with their vehicles, right?
Right.
So that issue you don't have in Maruti. One of the reasons why it is popular,
Exactly.
right? Or similarly Tatas and and so on. Okay, thank you so much. So let's do a quick review of the internal and the external as well of this car, and also look at how you driving experience as such. Okay, let's check it out. Okay, thank you so much. Okay, so basically this is the car which what we see from outside, and it looks rounded compared to the previous version of Celerio, which already is there in the channel reviewed, right? That's a 2016 model, and this is a 2022 model. Clearance is 170 mm clearance, so that is good enough for taking care of all the potholes and unscientific road humps which we normally use to see in the city. So this is the tire. What you get? It's a 14 inches tire, right? Steel right now. They have not gone for alloy wheels right now, but it's the same OEM tires what you see. So it's very well rounded if you can look at it, and of course there are indicators on the OVRM, right? And there's a keyhole for the driver door, right? So it's a big antenna, not the shark fin antenna. And of course the back profile is also pretty neat, clean. Boot is much more deeper compared to the older Celerio, and it's a 13 liters of boot space, right? And then of course it comes with a split seat, so which means you can actually split the seat as well, right? 60-40, and it comes with a parcel tray, right? So that's the boot, pretty good. It's a petrol version what they have. So a lot of space here on the back side, and then of course you can see the split seat, which very similar to the old one. So basically what I'll do is I'll keep comparing it to the old and the new, right? So one difference what we saw is the boot space is much more, and with the 60-40 split obviously it will be much more to carry the entire luggage if you are going on a long journey as such. There are a lot of pockets here. If you look at the interiors, yeah, it's different compared to the old Celerio. First thing what you can see of course is on the doors you don't have the control panels for the windows up and down control. Those have come in the central console here. You can see it here, right? Then of course there are airbags, 2 airbags. So it comes with 2 airbags. This is a normal mirror, IVRM manual with a day-night mode. Okay, so that's a normal mirror. Then of course you have the vanity mirror here for the co-passenger, driver. Nothing here. Yeah. So let's check the glove box. It's decent size, not cool but it's normal, similar to the other one. Of course the air vents are nice and chunky, nice round ones. So here what I see is that the controls for the front doors are here,
Yes.
and for the rear doors I see it somewhere here. Yeah, there it is. Right. There's no armrest. In case if they want, they can put it. And this is the AMT model which I'm reviewing. So you can see the gear lever like this. Same concept as normal drive mode, etc. In case if you want to go to the manual mode, you just shift towards left and then start using the manual mode. The downshift, as I explained in the previous Celerio model, the same thing, automatic it is. You don't need to do anything. Only the upshift you do, the downshift automatically happens.
Yes.
Okay, so I'm in the driver's seat and I've adjusted to my height and position, which is I am 6 feet, so I've adjusted according to my height, and still I can see at the back there is a lot of space. Okay, and then of course you have the steering controls as well. Okay, so that is as far as this particular headlight controlling as such. This is the 12 volt charging point, right? 12 volt charging point which can be used for charging. So that comes with 4 speakers, huh?
It comes with four speakers.
Okay, very nice.
And good audio.
Good audio. Yeah. So it's got a Bluetooth connectivity as well for the phone, right? So you take your phone calls.
Yes, I take my phone calls.
You take your phone calls and all, right? So there's no issue on that. So there it is. You can see that, right? Okay. So let me reduce the volume. So in terms of charge port, of course you saw that there is a 12 volt there, and then you also have the USB port and aux support as well, and then wiper, of course you can see there are 2 wipers. Similarly you also have the rear wiper which is there as part of this particular module, and the controls are here, right? And these controls are for the lights, and it comes with a projector lamp. It's a halogen. It's a halogen. And okay. So good. Okay, so that's the interior. Let's see the average. So it's about 15.6 to 16 kilometers per liter is what is coming out right now in the city. Obviously with AC as such. So without AC you'll probably stretch it by another 2 kilometers, right? But outskirts definitely you'll get about 22, 23 easily, right? Okay. Yeah. So with AC as such, and with 313 liters of boot space, and with the 60/40 it's good for a long tour as well, with a family of 3 or 4 people or 5 people as well, right? And you've done 2 services already.
2 services.
You already finished that. Yes. 2 services. And how much you spent for the service?
First time it was
approximately how much you spent?
Must be around 2k or something.
2,000. Okay.
Second time I think it was around 2.5 to 3 something like that.
2.5 to 3,000. So
approximately very affordable.
Affordable. Okay. So only thing is the oil change happened?
Yes.
Oil change happened. Okay. Oil change happened. In terms of G and cap rating, it is I think last time it was tested, but again typical of Maruti, even the old Celerio and this one, you'll have to be safe driving. As long as you don't meet with an accident, this is a great car, but otherwise safety wise is still not scored very well. But I think Maruti will make sure that the next versions they can improve on the rating part, because that's something which a lot of people have concern. But otherwise, unless you have any issues, all Maruti vehicles actually do very well in terms of mileage, from functionality, practicality, and also drivability within the city as outside, and as well as the car being very, very peppy for driving as such. So that's the way Maruti is popular and still number one in terms of sales and service as well, right? It's just that the safety aspect, I think they can concentrate. I think they have taken a small step in Brezza, the new Brezza, where the body gauge has definitely gone up a bit compared to the previous Brezza. So hopefully the star rating, the crash test rating should be a much better one for the new Brezza. Hopefully that is a start, and then all of the models also continue to evolve in the Maruti stable. So let me ask Mr. Elangon, in terms of the driving in city is easy?
Driving in city is very much easy, since it's an automatic thing. I don't have to concentrate on the gear shifting.
Okay.
That is more tension-free in the
city, especially in Bangalore kind of
Bangalore,
right?
Kind of place.
Okay. And outskirts also you've gone with 4-5 people without any issues?
Without any issues, I have been driving, and it was very comfortable.
So, is there anything which you like to have but it is not there in this car, or is there something which you don't like which is there in this car but you don't like it?
As such, nothing like which is there in the car and I don't like.
Okay. So
But,
which means whatever you require
I
is
was
got there.
satisfied.
Okay.
And regarding the other aspect of it, with the sunroof and the charger,
Wireless charger.
wireless charger,
Okay.
and things,
Push button start.
starts. And
Okay.
all.
And what about-
I didn't feel like I was requiring that.
Requiring that. Okay. Okay. So that's why you went for this mid version.
I went for this mid version.
Okay. So on the top end version, of course, there is an infotainment system there which comes in with a display, a 7-inch display. But yeah, here you use your Google for
Yes.
all the for the navigation
Navigation
purpose.
part of
But it's got the radio and controls, which is very good.
Very
the
good.
Speaker is
I-
good.
speakers,
4 speakers.
Fantastic.
Okay. Okay. And service-wise, you don't have an issue.
I don't have any issues.
Absolutely no issues at all. Okay, that's very nice to hear. Typical of a Maruti, but there are pockets. I don't know. Maybe it could be villages or interiors of tier 2 cities or wherever. Some of the reviews, some people have cribbed about Maruti. Maybe Maruti needs to take a note of that. But I think in the cities, people are generally happy, and one of the reasons why the sales are much higher, and they are almost a leader in the automobile industry.
Servicing part of it was superb. I liked Nagdevi's servicing also and the Dublala servicing also, which was equally good. I was totally satisfied.
So basically, you were getting appointment on time.
On time, and delivery also was on time.
On time, okay. And then the service advisor explains to you what all feedback has been, what has
Yes.
been done, what repair has been done.
He has explained me very well.
So you don't have an
Yeah,
issue there.
I don't have an issue.
So in terms of service cost, I think you already mentioned approximately about 3,500 or
Yes.
something you have spent till
Yes.
now, right?
Yes.
2 service you have done.
Two services.
2 service you have done. Okay, so from what I could gauge from the discussions till now, I feel that you're a very happy person. In terms of, let's say, hill station drives, did you have any issues?
No,
Did you-
recently this month mid we had been to Tirupati.
Okay.
We had driven this car and I didn't feel any problem at all.
Okay.
It was quite, it was good.
It was good. So you don't have any problem in terms of pulling with 4
Pulling,
people
no,
inside,
no.
no issues. That's okay.
Normal
Very
issues,
good. Okay.
very
So the power is definitely not a problem at all,
Yes,
right?
power is
Okay.
not a problem.
Not an issue at all. Okay, great. So guys, basically we will just check the bonnet as well. This is the 1 liter engine with 3 cylinders and churns out 66 bhp of power and 89 Nm of torque. And yeah, it's got a lot of space here for the crumple zone. So final look of this car. It's all rounded compared to the previous one and looks also a little on the higher side, it's standing tall, compared to the previous model. So it comes with a 14 inches tire here. I think the top end comes with the alloy wheels. So this is the complete walk around of this car. Okay. And then there's the clearance, ground clearance. So I guess that's sufficient, 170 mm, more than enough for the city. Okay. So let me take a drive. So if you look at it, basically it should be on neutral, this one, when I'm starting, right? So this is the mode which is reverse, and on top it is reverse, and this is the drive. And then if I take the left, this is my manual way of driving as such. Okay, so 1 2 3 4 like that. Downshift automatically happens. Okay, so if I want to do reverse, this is the reverse, and then this is the drive mode. So that's what I'm going to do right now. So let's take a short drive and see how the drive is in this new one, right? Okay, so I'll put on neutral and then I start the engine. See, it's got a creep function similar to the other one as well, so which means it's very useful. Without doing anything, just put the drive mode, automatically it starts moving. Okay, so it's very useful for everyone who's driving first time as well, because the engine doesn't stall, right? So you need to have that. You can hear the beep sound because of the the seat belt. Yeah, now it's gone. These days car, you get beep even if the back seat is not, if you don't put the back seat belt also, it starts beeping. Safety angle, it is correct, it's required. Okay, of course I'm driving just within the apartment and I can see that it is it's pretty smooth, and the steering is also pretty light. At the same time, it's giving me the response what is required, right? So on highway, obviously it will be on the lighter side, but it should be good enough to drive. Visibility is definitely not a problem at all, even in the old one and in this one. You can see all around clearly. There's absolutely no issues, including the rear view mirror and the rear, the glass is much wider compared to some models where it is very narrow. If an example, let's say Kiger, if I take, the rear view mirror is very narrow, so you need to really look at the left and the right front mirrors, right, OVRMs, whereas here we don't have that issue. There's a wide glass area, so that way the view is much better. Yeah, see, I'm actually driving with one hand and it is no issues at all. So it's no issues driving with one hand, and that's the advantage of this AMT, right? It's not a fully automatic, typical of it's called as AGS, it's automatic gear shift, so that's what it is. So you can actually feel when the gears are changing, right? You can feel that gear change, which is different in CVT. In CVT you will not see that difference at all, so it will be much more smoother. So here you can see the change whenever the gear changes. That's a typical behavior of the AMT. Okay, but again, it's not a impediment. You can actually you'll get used to it, and after that it will be much smoother, and it's very comfortable. But mileage wise, it will be almost same as the manual. That's the advantage of this AMT, because it's just a small wrapper around the manual engine. That way what happens, there's a gear actuator, what they call, which changes the gear for you. Okay, so that's the difference. So I'll just take a turn back. So you have the manual, you have the AMT, then you also have the IMT. In IMT, the difference is that you don't have the clutch, but then you have the the gear lever. So you have to keep putting the gears as like a normal manual car, but then the clutch you will not have. So that's a difference. And then you have the AMT, and then you have the CVT, then of course you have DCT. So there are different types of gear mechanisms in the car. Okay, so this is the AMT version what we're driving right now, and the one which we did in the last video, which was also an AMT as well, but that's a 2016 model, and this is a 2022 model. That's a difference. Right, so we are coming back. So what I see is that the drive is absolutely no issues, though it's a very short distance I'm doing. I can see that it's pretty smooth, and it kind of is responsive. The feedback from the steering wheel is also there, so I can feel what's happening. Okay, so there's a button called A off. This is engine automatic off and on. So if this is enabled, so you can see the green light on. That means the ISS, it is called idle start and stop switch, is on. So what happens when you stop the vehicle in traffic, etc., the engine gets cut off. And the moment you press the brake in AMT, or if you press the clutch in the manual, the engine will come to life and it will start moving. So that's a very nice feature to have. Here is a summary of this car. As I said, clearly again repeat it, and same thing happened to the 2016 Celerio which I had as well. It's a very practical, functional, and no nonsense car to have in the city as well as to on long drives, and for a family of 4 to 5 people it is very comfortable. It does the job what is required, right? And in terms of mileage, you have a good mileage, yes, right? Exactly. And the power is just the right power which is there for the body shell. Yeah, only the G and cap ratings Maruti can take note and then see what it can do to improve the score. But as I said, otherwise this car is great to drive in the city as well as outskirts. Correct. In terms of maintenance cost, ownership cost, again it's very nominal. So it is definitely a go-to car as far as this owners are concerned. That's what I'm getting from this review as well. I hope you like this video and you enjoyed this, and you got all the information what you wanted to make a decision. In case something else is missed out or you want to talk about it, please comment in the comment box and write to me, and I can reply to you by getting those answers when it's required, wherever it's required. Okay, so thank you so much for that. Till my next video, bye bye.